In this video, I'm going to explain the Objectives feature in Keypoint Interactive. The idea behind this feature is to provide a mechanism for you to quickly filter all of the questions in a presentation so that you can create a chart or a report based on a subset of those questions. It's okay if that sounded confusing, because it's really pretty easy and it'll make sense in a few minutes. Let's get started. If you've been working your way through the tutorials playlist, then you've already seen these slides, just not all together in the same presentation. I've blended slides from the Teams and pre-post tutorials to create a presentation that asks participants to choose a team, pre-tests them, and then makes a game out of the post-test. In both of those tutorials, I used the Link to Question feature to associate charts with specific questions. Remember, by default, Keypoint will show the data from the nearest preceding question, so the team scores chart on slide 9 is showing scores for the question on slide 8. But if I select the chart on slide 10, and click the Link to Question button, you can see it was tied to both of the post-test questions in order to show the cumulative score. So what does all of this have to do with objectives? Hold that thought. For now, just recall that I had to choose each question one at a time when I built this chart. Not bad with only 2 questions, but it could get pretty tedious in a large presentation. Okay, that's enough review. I'm going to delete this cumulative score slide, and we'll rebuild it in a minute. The whole idea of objectives is to make it easier on you. There's essentially 2 components to learning the concept. First, create an objective for some of the questions in your presentation. In this case, it would be helpful to have a quick way to find all of my post-test questions. So I'll select the first one, and up here on the Keypoint tab, I'm going to give it an objective. I'll label it Quiz, since taken together, the post-test questions are essentially a quiz. Then, on my next post-test question, you can see that Keypoint added that objective to the dropdown already. So all I have to do is select it to tag this question with that objective. You can make as many different objectives as you need and name them anything you'd like. Now that we've done that, let's rebuild the cumulative chart slide. Remember that I made it by duplicating the regular team score slide, changing the title, selecting the chart, and clicking the Link to Question button. Do you spot what's different? I can still see all of the questions in my presentation here, but now I've got a tab for my quiz objective. If I click on that tab, Keypoint filters the question set down to only the ones for that objective. So now, all I have to do is click the Add All button to grab all the questions in that objective and apply them to this chart. Again, that's overkill in a presentation with only 5 questions, but it becomes very helpful in a larger presentation with rounds of team competitions or separate quizzes for different sections of lecture. I'm going to save the details of creating reports for a different video, but you may already be aware that clicking on the Reports button lets you choose different reports to export as Word or Excel documents. Notice that the reporting interface has a Select Questions button. By default, Keypoint pre-selects all of the questions in the presentation, but if we only wanted a post-test report, I can click Remove All to empty them out, filter by the quiz objective, and then click Add All to select the ones I really wanted. Now, whatever reports I create will include only those questions that I tagged with the quiz objective. That's it. Objectives is one of those features that isn't needed all the time, but it can be a real game changer under the right conditions. Hopefully this video inspired you to try it out on your next big presentation. Be sure to check out the other videos in this tutorial series as well. Thank you for watching.